Hi everyone, so today I wanted to talk about the topics of the CV and the portfolio that is very dominant in the design industry currently. Now, I've been working in this industry for a long time now. I've seen a hell of a lot of CVs and a hell of a lot of portfolios that differ massively from person to person or from company to company. But today I just wanted to break down from my personal opinion and from what I've gathered from talking to industry experts about what should be included in your CV and what should be included in your portfolio. First and foremost, we'll start off with the CV. Now the CV is probably viewed as a little bit less important for designers. Obviously the portfolio is generally what hiring managers are interested in seeing. However, I still feel that the CV is a really important thing to focus on and to include the most important information on there. Now the real basics to start off with will be obviously your name. Now I'm a big believer of putting your current job title underneath your name, just to draw the hiring manager's attention straight to your current experience and current role. I think it eliminates the problems of hiring managers having to sift through CVs that aren't necessarily relevant for the position. So the next part is to include a summary of your experience. Now a lot of people put their current years of experience in the specific industry or in the industry as a whole. Other things that are really good to include are industries that you've worked in or specific companies that you've worked at previously. Big names are often put in this part. So after the summary, what comes next is very simple, a description of your current job. Now what that needs to include is, of course, the company that you're currently working at, the job title and how long you have been there. So if it's your most recent role, it's likely that it will be from a start date to present, but then every other role preceding that needs to be from when you started to when you finished. Now, a common mistake that I see across the board in CVs is that people put their past experience first, so from their first job to their most recent role down to the bottom. Now, of course, in a hiring manager's shoes, they're only really focused on the most recent role and the most relevant experience. Also, another common mistake that I see with CVs is that the description of your current role tends to be very, very generic. Now, the main problem with having a generic summary of your experience in your CV is that you are unable to separate yourself from the crowd or separate yourself from your existing team. I think a lot of people would agree, even in my role now as a recruiter, that my summary of my recruitment work right now would be very similar to thousands of other recruiters out there. And I think in the design space, it would be exactly the same. You know, a lot of designers are working on similar things or following the same type of design processes there. Now, what I believe is the best thing to do is to structure your CV and description in something called, or by using something called the STAR format. Now, the STAR format stands for situation, tasks, accomplishments, and results. Now, for those of you who haven't heard of this before or don't know, Amazon actually use this as an interview stage in their process. It's more to do with presentations in that sense, but I think it's a really effective way of structuring your summaries and key skills in your CV. Now, what I mean by this is by painting a very clear and structured picture of your experience from start to finish. So you could either do a summary of your entire experience at this particular company, or maybe just highlight one or two key projects that you've worked on. But it's about painting that situation first. So the situation was this, or I was hired for this particular reason. Then the task. So my specific task as an individual or as a team, I think it's very important that you balance the individual contributions and team contributions here. But these were my specific tasks and the team tasks here. Now, something that's very important and gets missed out so often during interviews and CVs is the most important parts, in my opinion, which are the accomplishments and results here. Now, the accomplishments and results are what make you stand out from the crowd. People miss them out so often. Now, this is where you say, in this amount of time or during this particular project, during this time, this is what I accomplished, or this is what me and the team accomplished here. And then the results are where you can start to put tangible, quantifiable results that make you stand out and really display the impact that you've had in this particular project or in your particular team. Generally, people will make generic CVs to send to companies that they want to apply for, or send to us as recruiters that they want to apply for. Now, I think generic CVs are fine as long as you have the key achievements and results, as I mentioned in my previous point. But I think it's about prioritizing the roles that you really, really want to go for. So if you're really interested in maybe one or two particular roles, I'm a big believer of tailoring your CV to that particular opportunity. So it's about understanding the requirements of that role from your recruiter or from looking at the job description, analysing what they're looking for this particular position, and then adding key skills to your CV, key accomplishments to your CV that are relevant to what they're looking for. It's of immediate value to you to do this, because hiring managers will instantly see that you have, one, taken note of what they're looking for, and two, that you actually have the skill set to be able to do that with their company. Now, the last point I wanted to make about the CV is adding a section about your personal hobbies and interests. Now, hiring managers are of course looking for people to fill their positions that have the right skills to do so. However, they're also hiring people. And a lot of that is about finding the best person who can also fit culturally into their team. Now, adding your personal interests and hobbies is a great indicator of you as a person and what you are most interested in outside of work. Of course, they'll be able to tell much more over an interview, but it's a good initial insight into you as a person and your personality. So thanks for watching. I really hope these tips help you in building your CV and getting the jobs that you really want to get. Make sure you check out the next video where I'll be talking about the ins and outs of what needs to be in your design portfolio.